someone was asking Donald Trump about this curious new meeting that was going to happen in D.C., where Pete Hegseth was calling for every military leader from across the world. Think about how much of an endeavor that is to come meet, and no one really knows why. And here's Trump acting like he doesn't either.
From all around the country to what?
To Virginia.
He's inviting the generals and admirals to Virginia for a big meeting.
Well, I know. I love it. I mean, I think it's great. Let him be friendly. Let him be friendly with the generals and admirals from all over the world. Why? Is there something? No, but is there something wrong with it?
What is it about? Will you be there personally as well? And what is it about?
Well, I'll be there if they want me, but why is that such a big deal? I mean, the fact that we're getting along with the generals and admirals from all. Remember, I'm the president of peace. It's good to get along. It's good. You act like this is a bad thing. Isn't it nice that people are coming from all over the world to be with us?
It's not particularly unusual that generals who report to the Secretary of War and then to the President of the United States are coming to speak with the Secretary of War. It's actually not unusual at all, and I think it's odd that you guys have made it into such a big story.
J.D. Vance is lying. So J.D. Vance jumps in to save Donald Trump because Donald Trump was floundering when trying to answer the question as to why all of these military leaders from across the world are being summoned to come meet with Pete Hegseth's dumbass. And I guess J.D. Vance and I suppose Donald Trump, who said, I don't know, isn't that nice of us to all meet together and have absolutely nothing to talk about except for some secret things about a military that we all pay for? But I want to go back to J.D. Vance's lie about how this is just totally normal and you guys are making something out of nothing.
This is really shrouded in secrecy, and it is really, we can't say it is completely unprecedented, but we spent the last several hours trying to find any precedent for this and simply can't find it. The notion that the Secretary of Defense would bring potentially hundreds of general officer and flag officers from all over the world together for a meeting like this is extremely, extremely uncommon. And for a number of different reasons. For one, these are people who have really busy day jobs. So bringing them here for something is difficult, especially on such short notice. But what's really also got a lot of people scratching their heads here today, Katie, is the idea that the agenda or what he wants to speak to these men and women about seems to be such a secret. Even officials who we are speaking to who are planning to attend this event don't really know what they're coming in to talk about.
It's like J.D. Vance is a liar. So just because he steps in and says, oh no, you guys are making this such a big deal, this is a very common thing, except for the fact that, when someone looks into things, because, it's reporters and journalists do. So Courtney Cube there on NBC News reporter was talking about how it's so uncommon. And she figured maybe there's some rare instances that they just kind of missed. I want to direct you guys to this content creator, Chris Valenti. He found, one of those few times in history where this has happened. Let's pay close attention.
In 1935, Adolf Hitler summoned all of the leaders of the German military to Berlin. And when they got to Berlin, he forced them to change their oath from an oath to the Weimar Republic and the Constitution to an oath to the Fuhrer. It's all about loyalty. And the overwhelming majority of them ended up taking that oath because they didn't want to lose their jobs. And then, during the Nuremberg trials after the war, a lot of them thought that oath would save them from accountability. They said, hey, we took an oath to be completely and totally obedient to the Fuhrer's orders. So this isn't our fault, this is his fault. And as cowardly leaders do, the Fuhrer, well, he was no longer with us. So all of the accountability was laid at the feet of his monster men who were in charge of committing those crimes. I would just like to take this as a moment to remind you that Pete Hegseth is summoning the entire leadership of the United States military from all over the globe to meet in the exact same building at the exact same time, and none of them get to know what the meeting is for. This is the first time this has happened in American history. Maybe I'm just speculating. Or maybe, if you study enough history, you can accurately predict the future.
It's not that hard. Like, you don't need other folks to find it and tell you all about it for you to understand. Just look up the processes, look up every action, damn near every action that this administration's taking, and you'll find the mirror version of it from fascist authoritarians and specifically Nazis. You don't listen to Chris Valenti. Don't listen to him. You don't have to. That's some guy. He's got an agenda. I think these left-wing billionaires are paying him to be this guy who just lies to you. Or you can also look into things that, like, the Holocaust Encyclopedia said. German military oaths. Until recently, many military swore their allegiance to their monarchs or rulers. Traditionally, the German military had sworn an oath of allegiance to the Kaiser. This changed during the Weimar Republic, when the oath became one of allegiance to the Constitution and its institutions. That's how it changed. Then, after that, in Nazi Germany, German military personnel swore an oath directly to Adolf Hitler. This change had important repercussions during World War II. Here's a couple of those key facts. It was longer in this article. The 1935 Führer Oath was voluntarily created by the military itself, but not by Adolf Hitler. Interesting to know. Also, the oath to Hitler was a key element of the Nazification of German military. Nazi ideology became more and more the basis of military objectives. Just want you guys to know. This is being led by Pete Hegseth. Donald Trump knows nothing about it, he says. Then, after whatever it is that they're going to talk about with our military that we pay tons of money into, after that goes down, it's pushback and hateful rhetoric from the vice president of the United States, from reporters that want to know, what the hell are you doing? They say they don't have to tell you and then after they don't tell you anything, they go on and continue to send their military into the streets, as he's promised he's going to do in more and more cities. Let me read you guys something else. This is an excerpt from a piece by Lynn Schmidt. This is from June of last year, June of 2024. She's a syndicated columnist and editorial board member with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. This is an excerpt from a series that offers analysis on some of the things that was in Project 2025 and what they wanted to carry out. Again, this was written in June of last year. Let's show you guys this piece here. Project 2025's recommendations include giving the president the power to reduce the number of generals. Quote, the next president should limit the continued advancement of many of the existing cadre, many of whom have been advanced by prior administrations for reasons other than their warfighting powers. Presidents do have the power to remove generals under Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution. That said, traditionally, generals or admirals have been relieved of their posts for misconduct or a failure to perform their duties. Relieving a group of them as a political act by a president would tarnish the perception that the military is apolitical. Project 2025 recommends that the president usurp Congress's constitutional mandate when it comes to national defense. The president should examine the recommendations of the congressionally mandated Commission on Planning, Programming, and Budgeting and Execution Reform and develop a strategy for implementing these that the administration considers to be the best interests of the American people. And as people kept talking about Project 2025 and the things that Donald Trump knew nothing about, it's weird that things that he knew nothing about are things that he continues to keep carrying out. So whenever that secret meeting happens, I'm not sure when it's supposed to or if it already has, and then we hear nothing else about it, and then we look up and see, more military guys in the streets saying, under, the direction of who we swore our oath to, the Fuhrer Donald Trump, we can do what we want to you.